Okay, so Nancy, hi. I saw this a long time ago, and obviously I've been held up, but totally happy to do a quick little rundown. Um, so I have like anxiety, depression, all the things, right? I was going through a particularly hard time. Oh God, I guess it's been 3 years now. If you're 3.5 years, I was going through a hard time. Really stressed out. I was a single parent, working full time. Trying to stay sober was awful. And I'm in perimenopause and have ADHD, so at that time, it just actually randomly showed up. I was at work and I had been at the same job for a really long time. And I opened up my laptop at work and I just had like a blank nothingness. Like there was absolutely nothing going on in my brain and I couldn't do my job. Like I couldn't figure out what to do. And so I went to my training notes. I like pulled out my training notes and looked at it, and then I couldn't figure out how to do my job from reading the notes to the computer. I was like, this is so weird. But I just thought it was stress. Honestly, I just thought it was stress. And so I ended up taking a year off work. And in that year is sort of when like all of the symptoms were like, probably because I was more aware of it. I wasn't like running around constantly, but I started like stuttering, like having a hard time getting like a full sentence out. And at this point, nobody had said Alzheimer's or anything like that. We just thought it was mental health, right? And so I was off work seeing a psychiatrist. There were 2 incidences that were kind of big. One of them, it's a bit of a story, but I'll try to, I lost my car keys, which I never lose things. And I looked for a half an hour for my keys inside the car twice and inside the gym where I was. And then gave up after, I don't know, half an hour and realized that the car was on and the key was in it. So stuff like that was starting to happen. Having a hard time with certain words, and then having a hard time like having a conversation with somebody, a fluid conversation, then all of a sudden my thoughts go blank. And I call it black blank because that's what it feels like. It's like, it's just, there's nothing there. And so because it was happening while I was off work, I'm like, this, because I wasn't feeling stressed. So it's like, oh, this is weird. But I had told the psychiatrist about the car thing, and I had left some eggs spoiling on my stove and walked half an hour downtown in an 1800s character house, and then ran home, and the house was almost on fire. It was black smoke everywhere. So I had told this to the psychiatrist, so she was like, okay, first of all, you have to stop driving. So I had to stop driving. She sent me for a road test, like the ones that senior citizens get. So I had to stop driving, and she did a cognitive assessment. It's called the Montreal Cognitive Assessment. So we did that. I did not do well on that. Still, there was no mention. And then, so I saw her a few times within that year, and we did the cognitive assessment twice. And then the second time after I did the first one, I did worse. Not like significantly, but I was still not doing well. And I had completely forgot. But she had referred me to a neurologist. I had a MRI that the radiologist said there's atrophy. So this is like an MRI that I just had that wasn't even, actually maybe it was, I can't remember. Listen, I can't remember. There was an MRI involved. It showed that I had frontal lobe atrophy. That's all it said on the thing. And now I know that radiologists, there's more to your scans than what you see on your report. So I had frontal lobe atrophy. So she put the frontal lobe atrophy together plus the low cognitive assessment scores and then referred me to a neurologist. I forgot about it. I ended up going back to work, but I went back with accommodation. So I just had to do this one job, and it was repetitive. So basically, I was able to do a job that was the same thing every day. So I couldn't multitask. I couldn't. And my work was good enough about letting me work from home too, so that I could control my. So I worked from home. And because of that, I was like, bitch is doing good. I was thinking I'm doing great, right? Had no. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, here's this, I get a call to go see the neurologist, and I almost didn't go. I almost didn't go because I was feeling so good. All the same things were happening, but I just was like, I'm good. Like so I almost did not go. I actually forced myself to go, and I was just going to not go and not tell them. Just going to like ghost them. Anyways, I went in there, and the nurse brought me in to do a Toronto cognitive assessment, which is a lot longer and more detailed. And I said to him, listen, I'm fine. I felt bad. I felt like I was wasting his time. I said, I'm fine. I'm back to work. Nothing is wrong. I'm going to ace this. So I'm kind of wasting your time. I felt bad. I failed it really badly. Really badly. Yeah. And then the neurologist walked in with pamphlets that said young onset Alzheimer's on them. And so we had, he mentioned, well, let's do some testing. And so he said, I saw your MRI, and there's a lot more on there than what meets the eye. Basically, I had atrophy in the front. I don't know what it's called up here. 2 different sizes of atrophy on either side. And there's a scoring system for the amount of atrophy, and it's called MTA. I think it's MTA 1 to MTA 4. And I had MTA 1 and MTA 2. And often with Alzheimer's, it is different sizing so it's not usually unified. If it's unified, it's less likely it's Alzheimer's. So mine was not unified. And then I had the spaces in the something. I have all the reports. I could probably read it. But there was a few things that he saw in the MRI that was not actually written by the radiologist, which is interesting. So there was more going on than actually I even knew. And then so he said, we'll do some tests. We'll basically do a lumbar puncture. That is one of the most accurate tests that they can do, because they pull your fluid, and in your fluid you can see if you have any proteins, which essentially just tell you if there's plaque in your brain, which is, the old Alzheimer's. So I worked with him for quite a while. He called me primordial Alzheimer's for quite a while. And then my lumbar thing came back indicating Alzheimer's. So I think I saw him for a year and was getting a whole bunch of other tests done, and it took a year to get that diagnosis. But altogether, 2 years. I remember when I went in to get the diagnosis, I didn't know I was going in to get the diagnosis. I was going in to update him on my symptoms. And I had just been shopping, and was walking around with a big cart of like home furnishing stuff. And I looked down, and all of a sudden I had no idea where I lived. That's not normal, apparently. And so I was wanting to tell him that, because it happened a couple times in that trip where I was going to buy stuff, but I didn't even know what house I lived in. So I was like, what house am I buying this stuff for? I don't even know where I live. It was a weird feeling, really weird. Anyways, so yeah. And then I went in there, and he's like, you have young onset Alzheimer's. And I was like, oh, cool. And then I said, what? And he said 5 to 8 years.